you're a son, you're a brother, you're a husband, or you're a boyfriend, whoever you are and whoever's in your life, be the best that you can be for those people and be the best that you can be for you. I can argue that 100% of people are disciplined in the wrong things. You're disciplined, but you're disciplined in watching Netflix.
You in the club every week.
You in the club every week.
You couldn't get more disciplined.
Right. It's the intention, the why, and the energy behind the discipline and the actions that will change your life. You will get blessed twice for going through what you went through. Here's why. Because life is not about what we achieve as much as we love to think it is. Life is about, it's about what we overcome, man. And me and my family, we overcame a lot. We overcame a lot.
Today's guest is Malique Lewis, the man behind the YouTube channel Purpose Driven. And let me start by saying this. This conversation went to places that I did not expect it to go. And so I want to give you the context. 15 months ago, Malique was in a dark spot. He was unemployed. He sent over 300 job applications. Every single one of them was rejected. Every single one. And then one day he posts a YouTube video that went so viral that it completely changes the fortunes of his channel. And so speaking to you today, Malique has millions of viewers, over 250,000 subscribers, and his videos have no editing, just him speaking unfiltered into the camera. And so in this episode, we go through a 4-step process of how you can live a rich, meaningful, purpose-driven life in the next 90 days. And so if you're sitting at home listening to this right now, and it feels like you're not hitting your full potential, like you were meant to be more, we created this conversation for you. And my belief, if you can internalize some of the principles and the lessons that Malique shares in this episode, that one, you will discover your purpose on this planet, and 2 is you will have the most meaningful and successful year of your life. And so I know that that's a big promise, but once you listen to this conversation, trust me, you're going to understand why I say this. So look, I'm not going to say anything more. Let's just get into the episode. You're listening to The Callum Johnson Show.
Your style of video, it's so authentic. It's you, it's straight to camera. There's no super high quality production, special lights, effects. It's not overly flashy. But despite all of that, millions of people have watched your content. Even I was just looking through the comment section and people that are like, it feels like I'm listening to my older brother. Like, this is my older brother, my big bro. Men and women. Right. Enjoying your content, feeling seen by your content. And so this is where I wanted to begin. Malique, what is it about you and your message that is resonating with people right now?
Pure authenticity. Saying what we're all feeling, being the voice. And I think what it is really, brother, is, you know, people want to be purpose driven. They want to have a sense of purpose. They might just not know how. And I've been there. And so to be able to put the camera on and say, hey, this is how you do it. And you just have to keep being yourself, or giving that advice that they need to make it through the day. Letting them know that they do have a shoulder, even if it's online. It's like, I have gone through what you have gone through or similar. We share this human experience under this sun. And it's there's nothing new under the sun. There's a lot of similarities in all of our lives. And so I think what people are seeing and what they're resonating with is the pure authenticity and the pure essence that I do my best to just bring out. And yeah, no special effects, no lighting. I mean, those things could be cool, right? It's maybe some videos I'll pull it out, but most videos, like you said, it's me and the camera, because I want people to know that I'm speaking one-on-one with them. It's not like I'm speaking to 1,000 people. I'm speaking directly to whoever is watching and could resonate with the message and the energy that's coming out of the video.
You know what, you mentioned like speaking to what everyone is feeling.
Yeah.
And so I want to go a bit deeper with that for a second. Even just on the car ride on the way over here.
Yeah.
What was your hope for like the impact, or like the impact that this conversation could have? Like, what was your intention?
Man, that's a great question. My intention, and I realized it last minute, because leading up, you could think, oh, I want to give this message. I want to make sure that I say this. I want to make sure that I say that. And it's kind of like what we spoke about earlier, before we started, letting go and letting God. And I just want to be that vessel of light to shine through today. Whoever is watching, I want light to be shined through that screen, through that tablet, through that phone, through that TV. I need you to know that there's still hope, that there's still light, that there's still good. And that because you can resonate with what I'm saying, that means that there's light in you as well. No matter how dark it may look, no matter how dark life might get, there's light in all of us. And I'm just a reflection of that. I just want to be a vessel. And so I'm letting God use me this episode, and I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's such a pure intention. And you know what? We're going to get into, later on in the conversation, we're going to get into how someone can completely transform their life in 90 days and start to go from like feeling almost like you're drifting to being purpose driven.
Oh, yeah.
But before we do, one of the things that's interesting, and this is even what you said when we spoke a few weeks ago, you said, my mum worked 2 to 3 jobs growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know how she did it. She went without so that we could have. She would work double shifts and still find a way to show up, not just physically, but emotionally too. And so where I wanted to begin, before we get into the practical things that people could do, I wanted people to feel your story and your context. And so if I just wanted to understand you and what has made you the man that you are today that's sitting before me, what would I need to understand from your early years? What experiences, events would I need to be aware of in order to have that context?
You would have to understand the power of motherhood. And a mother that wants to see her son shine and be the best version of himself. And not just saying what to do, but showing how to do it to the best of her abilities. Knowing that there wasn't a consistent father figure in the household, doing her absolute best to show you this is what a provider looks like. This is what it means to be emotionally intelligent and emotionally aware. This is what it means to show up. And this is what it means to not give up. And this is what it means to find a way through whatever we're going through. Never had an eviction notice on our door, brother. Never once had an eviction notice on our door. And my mother had me at 18 years old. Never once. Figured it out. Came from the island of Jamaica. Came to America for a better life. And she did the damn thing. And she did a great job. And seeing my mother work hard, it made me realize, if a woman could do that, who had the what feels like the weight of the world on her to take care of her firstborn, what can I do? What can I achieve? And let me not make her sacrifices ever be in vain. Let me not make it ever be in vain. And I think that's at the core. That's what I've been trying to do my whole life. And I know I've been doing it. And I know that she's proud of me. But just like you, right? No matter how successful we become, we know that there's more work to do. And I'm going to keep evolving and being the best version of myself because of the amazing atmosphere that my mother was able to raise me in. Not atmosphere of where we lived or where I grew up. No, I grew up in the streets and like in the hood. And my mom had to work super hard to get us out of there. So it's not just about the environment. I mean, the energy, the lessons, the wisdom that she had. And that came from her father. So in essence, my grandfather also played a huge role in my life because he raised my mother. And he was the main one. My mother was raised mostly by her father. So when my mother's the one raising me, she really did play both roles. Now, I understand the importance of a father being in the home. And that's why I have, I want a nuclear family. I have my wife, and I'm looking forward to making kids one day and having that structure is beautiful. But my mother did the best that she could, and she did a phenomenal job, and I'm forever grateful
Yeah.
to be her son.
Yeah. You know what? Take us behind the scenes. Like almost
Yeah.
imagine that we're like a fly on the wall, because you mentioned her almost having like the weight of the world on her shoulders.
Yeah.
And despite that, never a single eviction notice. Even if I just go back to the quote you said she went without so that we could have.
Yeah.
What are kind of like the vivid memories, almost like scenes that you remember of like seeing that she went without so we could have?
Yeah.
What comes to mind?
I had a conversation with her one day, and she said, I would go to bed hungry sometimes so you guys could eat. That never left my mind, man. That sacrifice. And I mean, we all love food. People eat 3 times a day. Think about not eating just so you can see your son eat. So every memory that I have of me eating food and she providing dinner for me each day, that is the fly on the wall that I'm giving you. Every time that I ate, she might have not ate. And being grateful for those things, for a meal. And I know mama's listening. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for you, mama. But moments like weight on the world, the world on her shoulders, moments like graduation, she's getting off of work. Well, let's take it back early morning. I'm speaking to her. I said, Mom, today's graduation. She's like, I know I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. And I'll tell you, it's so important for you to be present at your job, because especially if it's a new job and, you want to do good, you want to make sure that you're not calling off too many times. And she would be meticulous of that, because the worst thing you want to hear is that we no longer need your services. You're not here. You're more of a mother than a corporate worker, which we need to fix, by the way, America. Right. She still found a way after work to come over, drive. I know she's speeding on that highway to come see her son. And there were moments where I thought she wouldn't make it, and she was there every single time. That has me asking, okay, if she could show up and she has to go to work, she has to do all these things, do the laundry, cook, clean, all these things. It's like, again, what can I do in this world? And the importance and the power of just showing up. There's power there. Just her presence, just her being there, showing that she cares. And those are moments and memories that I don't take for granted. Those are the building blocks.
Yeah. It's actually, I think it's such a relatable moment. You talk about being present.
Yeah.
And I think that as kids, we've all felt that, whether it's like the school play, whether it's back home, we call it sports day, whether it's graduation. It's like that scene as a kid when you're on stage and you look out onto the crowd because you're trying to find the face of the people that you love. And there's a lot of kids and people listening that like they were looking in the room and they couldn't find it. Like the person wasn't there. Man. But for the people that they saw their mom there or their brother or their dad in the crowd, it's like just their presence means so much. And even when I just hear you talking about it and the fact that there was evenings where you and your younger brother ate and she wasn't able to, and I can even, 20 years later, I can feel the emotion that you have for that.
Yeah.
Why even now, even today in 2025 as we're recording this, is that still such a moment for you?
Yeah. Ultimate sacrifice. It goes to those types of conversations, and in life we're going to have to, sacrifice things in order to prioritize what's truly important in your life. Purpose. She realized her purpose as a mother. My purpose is to make sure that my kids eat. There's stories where mothers will hop in front of a car and start pushing that thing out the way because it's like, nah, you're not going to hit my baby. And they have this super strength out of nowhere. Purpose. And when you understand your purpose, you understand your priorities, you understand what truly matters, you understand when and where and how to be present, and for what to be present for. The truth is, you're going to say no to a lot of things that might be cool, in order to say yes to the important things, to the priorities. You know, I said yes to this podcast, of course, come on now. But I had to say no to other things, and making peace with that. There's a lot of people trying to have it all. But I ask you today, what are your priorities? What do you truly care about? That's the beginnings of purpose.
Yeah. We're going to get into it, because I think even just from watching your videos, it's like you have some very practical things that people can do to not only discover their purpose, but start to become the person that they envision themselves being. Speaking to you today, you're just about to pass 250,000 subscribers on your channel. Congrats on that.
Thank you so much, brother. That means a lot.
Millions of people have watched your content. Like I mentioned, you've released your own book, The Purposeful Man. But 15 months ago, you were in a completely different place.
Yeah.
You had nothing. And so you even mentioned it when we spoke. You said, I'd sent out 200 to 300 job applications and no one would hire me. Can you like just give the backstory? Like, how do you go? Like, tell me where you were in that moment. 200 to 300 job applications.
Yeah.
And no one would hire you.
Yeah. Shout out to my wife, Astrid, because she was really sending out those applications on behalf of me. You know, had my resume and doing it. I was focused on making YouTube videos, because I'm like, if one of those don't hit, one of these videos will. And so right there, even though what I just said was kind of a joke, there's truth in that. We're capable of so much. Anybody that's in college right now, anybody that has any dreams, whatever age you are, don't just do one thing. Like, get your degree and start a business. You know, work corporate and be an entrepreneur. You know, we are multifaceted. The one trick pony stuff doesn't work anymore. They won't hire you for that anymore. It's unfortunate. The one trick pony stuff will be AI. The multifaceted will be the creatives. We are from the creator. So we are also made in his image. So we are creators, and we're supposed to be creating. That's our true essence. Everything that's happening is in divine order, as scary as it looks. But I was a victim to what was happening. And, you know, when I was applying for these jobs, I got nothing back. You know, whether they had AI to replace, whether they had somebody who, you know, master's degrees are now applying for jobs of high school diplomas and bachelors. I mean, come on, it's not a fair game. But I didn't complain. I kept applying. My wife kept applying.
You getting interviews back? Like, what's the...
Yeah, right. Like, in that moment, right, I'm like, you know, I would have interviews and I would pour, I'd do my best. I would pour all that I possibly can. I'm like, I feel like I got that one. There was one where I got so close. I made it to like the last round, and they picked somebody over me, and I was like, oh my gosh. But you know, here's the thing. Every denial that I got me towards the success. Like you said earlier, the misalignments align you. Failure is the path to success. It will align you to where you're trying to go. And so nobody hired me, so I hired myself. Nobody hired me, so I hired myself. And there's power in that, to let yourself know that you are worthy. And the be aspect that we just spoke about, shout out Myron Gold, phenomenal. The being, you first have to know, yeah, you're worthy. Be that person of worthiness. Understand that you can have the life that you truly want, but you first have to know that you're worthy of that. And then things start to fall in place. Like, I don't know, posting a YouTube video and 100,000 views in a day. But what happened before that? 100 videos that didn't do much. But it did a lot in the background. Because a lot of people think success looks like this. The truth is, success looks like this, and then boom. You know about it.
100%.
We see nothing for a long time. We're like, man, what are we doing? Is this going to work? And then all of a sudden one day you skyrocket. But you skyrocketed because you were doing the work. And so while we were applying for jobs, you know, and I'm applying, I'm putting my application out there. I'm like, at the end of the day, I think that I'm really here to be online, to be on YouTube, to help people, to be a vessel of light. I was going to be a vessel of light no matter where I went. Because like we spoke about earlier, you can be that today. That's part of the purpose. Being the best version of yourself today, doing the best that you can in every living, breathing moment that you have. I was already doing that, but I was willing to do it at a 9-to-5 corporate job because I have a wife to take care of. I have, if my mom needs something, I want to be able to provide for her. If my little brother needs money for something, I want to be able to shoot him something. So I'm not above working. I clean toilets for my family. I don't care. There's no, oh, I'm beyond that. The pride. Don't get worthiness mixed up with pride. I knew that I was worthy of what was truly called for me to do. So I realized through all the denials, the more I was getting denied on the corporate end, the more I'm realizing I need to keep trusting the process. I need to keep accepting myself because none of that is working, but this is. So there's a sign here. God's trying to show me something. Son, why do you keep applying for jobs when I keep telling you that you already have one? Just do it. Just do the job that's working. And that's what I did. I focused on what was working in my life, and my life changed. You're right. I had nothing. Literally, I had nothing in my bank account. I'm now a 6-figure earner. I'm 23. Graduated college a year ago. Not even a year yet, actually. It's unbelievable, but I believed it.
You mentioned that first video, 100,000 views in a day. Like what, talk me through that moment. Like even talk to me through that moment of like, you're sitting at home.
Yeah.
And you're seeing like a video get that sort of performance where I'm sure before that video, it was nothing like that.
Nothing like it.
Talk to me about that.
So to set the scene, this is so important, right? The making of that video was just like the making of any other video. Did the same mundane things, had my notes ready to speak, had a topic ready that I thought people would really gravitate towards. 8 grown man habits, the mindset that, 8 grown man habits that men learn too late, right? 8 grown man habits that men learn too late. That was the one. 100K in a day. I did the same thing that I always have done. And I go home and I'm refreshing my YouTube. I'm like, nah, this, I just posted this. And it took off. And that was one of those moments, right? Like you'll have moments where you're like, yeah, I need to trust the process and I really need to go all in with this. And that was one of those moments where I knew that this could happen for me. Like you mentioned earlier, we're looking at other people succeed. I would see other people succeed, but I had to know when my time was. I never got jealous. Maybe at first, early on, you're like, man, will this ever happen for me? And when you think about the reality of something not happening for you, but happening for everybody else, that's where jealousy might start to arise. But you're not really jealous. You're just in that reality. Get out of that reality. Think of a reality where it does work. Think of a reality where it does happen for you. And I kept thinking of that. I'm like, well, one day this might really happen for me. And I'm doing the same things every day, chopping wood and carrying water, chopping wood and carrying water. And that video took off. And what warms my heart is that it helped hundreds of thousands of men. I think right now it's at 800,000 to be the best version of themselves. That was the intent. And for it to work was just confirmation that I'm in my purpose and I'm in alignment with what I was sent here to do. That's the confirmation. It wasn't confirmation about, I can make money off of this. It was confirmation that my spirit feels at home doing this.
You know what's it's actually a beautiful part of the journey of all of this, and not just content creation. Whenever you set about the path of going about your purpose, like what you were called to do, I'm going to be real with people. The majority of the time is actually, you're not really getting any positive signal, especially in the beginning. Like things are just not working. Like you're spending like a lot of time doing a video, like putting yourself out there, and then I don't know, 50 views, 100 views, 70. Like there's certain people right now, they're probably listening at home, stuck on 70 views or whatever it is, and we've both been in that spot.
Oh yeah.
And then there's like these few moments, they're like shining light moments. Right. Where it's like you will get a signal that it's like, no, you were in the right place. Yeah. Like you are doing the right thing. And it just gives you that encouragement, like just keep doing your thing. And it sounds like that's what that moment was for you.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Here's where I want to go, because funnily enough, and it's funny that we're talking about this, I had exactly the same thing with this channel. I went in the beginning of 2023, I quit my job to do the show full time. I made a promise at that time we'd put out an episode every week. We did it for 48 straight weeks, and it was like the numbers were not budging. I'd get 100 views every episode. And then we did one episode with this entrepreneur called Dantes Akram. Zell knows him. That episode currently has 850,000 views.
Wow.
So you go from getting 100 views every video to 850,000 on one. You know what? I wanted to pull out, because we talk about like ownership and making that decision. And you even mentioned, nobody would hire me, so I hired myself.
Yep.
And when you said that, it reminded me of the quote that Tez actually said during the episode, where he goes from basically sleeping on a futon with his young daughter in his baby mother's mom's house to making $3 million running his own clothing company. And this is what he said. He said, the mindset shift is really changing your daily habits. I realized it's my decision on whether or not I want to wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning. It's my decision if I want to go to the gym or not. If I'm fat, it's my fault. If I look at my bank account and I don't like the number that's in there, it's the sum of the decisions I've made throughout the last 90 days.
There you go.
Even when I say that, like, what comes to mind for you?
Each decision that you make, and it's not to overthink it. Don't overthink, but think. Each decision that you make, think about it, and think about the outcome that this could potentially make. The butterfly effect. You know, if you tell yourself, oh, I'll skip the gym today, most likely you might tell yourself that you could skip the gym tomorrow too. What I find fascinating is when I reset things, I call it the reset method. So for me, I don't care what I did yesterday. In the back of my mind, I know that it tells the full story. When I zoom out, I can see the bigger picture, but I'm very focused on zooming in. And I have to zoom in on my daily life. And I have to ask myself, okay, what am I doing today to change my life, to make my life better? Not focused on what I did yesterday, not focused on the future, but being focused on right now. Saying I have a brand new 24 hours. That sun is up again. I'm up again. Let's get to it. And what decisions am I going to make right now in this present moment that could change my life? People make the bad decisions over and over again because they keep thinking of the bad decisions that they made previously. Don't do that. Don't do that. Every moment, every word that I'm saying, this is a new word that I'm saying. I'm just flowing. I'm making a decision to say what I'm saying. I'm able to do that. You're not a prisoner of your past, and you're not a prisoner of your future. You are a living being, living in the present moment, and you're not being. That's the problem. Once you're able to be, you are able to make better decisions to change your life. You're able to say, well, I actually don't want to do that. I want to do this because I think that this will heed better results for me. Once you start thinking in that pattern, it becomes a lifestyle to be able to make better decisions for your life. And once you can do that, it's up from there. You know, things are bound to get better. So that's what I think when I hear that. And it's 100% true. It's funny enough because I just posted that on Threads today, and I posted that your life is your current life is a reflection of all the decisions that you've made previously. Make your next decision count. And it doesn't even have to be a big one. But if you're on your phone, you find yourself doom scrolling, and you then catch awareness of it, where, oh, I'm aware that I've been doom scrolling for 30 minutes. You can either tap back into the doom scrolling or tap out. You can get the rest of your hour back. You can get the rest of your life back. You know, and so don't be a prisoner of your past decisions. Make the best decision right now. Reset method. Focus on the 24 hours that you have in front of you. You know, those are the things that come to mind.
Yeah. You know, I love that, the reset method. And even just reading out that last line, Your life right now is the sum of the decisions that you've made in the last 90 days. And when I started to think about it and even listen to you and even just watching your content, it kind of became very clear and vivid in my mind. I'm like, the exciting part about that is, to anyone that's listening, you can literally change your life in 90 days.
Yeah.
90 days of building momentum.
Yep.
You can completely change your life. And so what I did is, like, as I watched several of your videos, I kind of came up with this like 4-step framework or like blueprint of how someone could approach the next 90 days if they want to go from feeling like they're drifting and directionless,
right,
to being purpose driven and becoming the person that they want to have. And so let me read out these steps one by one, and we can go through it and we can just jam.
Sounds fun.
Okay. So step 1, I actually got this one from your book, actually.
Amazing. You
have to wake up. Most men never make the transition from boyhood to manhood. That's the brutal truth. That's actually the first line in one of the chapters in your book. What did you mean by that?
We are not conscious and we are not aware. We're a reflection of everybody around us. We never ask ourselves why we're here. We never ask ourselves, what are we doing on a day-to-day basis? We're not awake. We're not here. A lot of people are not here. I say we because I've been there before. In order to wake up, you have had to have been asleep. I think when we were children, though, we were born awake. We were born aware. Somebody could bump into you. That's still your friend. Nowadays, you know, where I grew up, somebody step on your shoes, that might be the end for you.
Yeah.
That's a problem. We hold on to things too much. We hold on to our past selves too much. We hold on to trauma. And the thing is, we also hold on to the belief system that we cannot achieve great things, but you are already greatness. You come from greatness. You are worthy. You can achieve anything you put your mind, heart, body, and soul to. But in order to do that, you have to wake up. You have to realize the privilege of what it is to feel the sun rays on your skin, to be here, to breathe in fresh air. Gratitude. A lot of people aren't grateful. It's like, oh, I got to go to work again. It's like, why do you got to go to work again? My mom knew why. I got kids to feed. I got bills to pay. What is your reason why? I know why I get up and do what I do every day. I got people to help. I have people to serve. And service wakes me up every day. I don't need an alarm clock. I don't even use it anymore. I just talk to God before I go to sleep. Hey, God, can you wake me up at 4 to 5? I have a meeting at 7. I would like to wake up around 4 to 5. And I'm making sure that I'm doing my part. I'll go to bed at 8. And I'll talk to you in the morning, God. Amen. I'm up 4 a.m., 3:50 a.m., 5 a.m. It's like, let's get this going. I'm energized off of life. I still like cold brew, but I don't have to drink it. I'm not addicted to it. I can go without it. I'm energized. I'm ready because I have woken up. I'm not in my mental prison, you know, thinking that, oh, I can't achieve anything. I'm always going to be a product of my environment. It's like, no, if I can do it, if he can do it, if you can do it, then somebody else could do it. Somebody watching this video, you can do it. You can. I'm no different from you. We live on the same earth. Anything is possible. So you have to wake up to that realization. And once you wake up to that realization, you're present, you're here, you're aware, you're conscious, and you're able to now move with purpose and direction. Because now you're aware. And a lot of people are asleep at the wheel. Like you've mentioned, drifting. I gotta go to work, or I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It's like you're not grateful for the current moment, and you're not present in the current moment. And these things are not easy to do, but it's just like working out in the gym. It's a muscle that you have to keep working on. But when you keep working on it, it gets easier. I'm pretty much 90% present throughout my days now. I don't expect that to last forever. I'm sure that will fluctuate, but I'm always here. I have no thoughts. I just flow. I just flow. And if people flowed, they would have inklings or, oh, I think I should go here. You know, you ever meet people like that? It's like, why are you doing this? Like, I don't know, man. I just have a feeling. Oh, they're present, man. They're in tune with something greater than themselves. That's the power that we all have, but you have to wake up to that. Wake up to that.
You know what's and this is where it gets like, it gets so exciting, and you even talk about being of service, because I think about, this is when you really start to have impact on people, because the thing that's so dangerous about being asleep or unaware is that you're exactly that. You're unaware. So like, you don't even know it. You're not even conscious of it. And so you've kind of alluded to it, but I just want to make sure that people can feel it, and that it speaks to people, which is like, I think so much about like the way that we talk to ourselves, or like the things that we tell ourselves, or just like the narratives that we have in our own mind. If someone's listening to this, what are almost like the signs that you're asleep? Like, what is the signs that you're like, the way that you talk to yourself is like, you're not awake, you're not fully present. Like, how can someone know?
The devil on your shoulder is too loud. So when you say, oh, I'll start social media, there's quickly a voice that's like, you can't do that. Can you fight through that or not? If you can fight through it, you're starting to wake up. You're starting to realize that there is no self-limiting beliefs. You don't have to have those. You can erase that. That doesn't have to be there. And even if it is there, you can ignore it. That's one of the signs. That self-limiting belief. Another one of the signs is, oh, I'm just doing this because so-and-so told me. I met a lot of those in college. Great people, great hearts. But I want to be a doctor because my mom told me that being a doctor makes good money. So I'm here to just be in the health field. Now, do I think we need more doctors? Yeah, but I think we need doctors that are actually passionate about the health field and the work that they're doing. They have to have that divine calling that we spoke about earlier, feeling as if they're in alignment and their spirit is at home to do brain surgeries. Because one thing you're not going to do, if I'm ever in that position, God forbid, you're not going to mess up my brain surgery because you chat GBT'd your way to being a doctor and you're not even passionate about it. Please don't do that. So there has to be passion there. There has to be some sort of calling there. But you'll never get the call if you keep answering the calls of other people who have already lived their lives and people who have already done the things that they have done for themselves. Now it's time for you to do it for you. I love my mom. She's still living her life, of course, but she has already lived her young adult life. As in, she was 23 once. I'm 23. My mom might have advice. I'll definitely take it into consideration. A mother's wisdom is nothing to play with, but I'm my own man. I have to make the final decision at the end of the day. Are you making the final decisions at the end of the day for your life? You mentioned it earlier from our brother when he said, if I'm fat, that's on me. Oh, he's 100% right. You know, if I'm not locked in, that's on me. If I'm not purpose driven, that's on me. If my life is not in order, that's on me, because I'm the one that has to get it in order. And there's a lot of people, this one might hurt a bit, but it's tough love. We were all there. People pray a lot. I think we should be praying more. That's a good thing. But they don't do enough. Faith without works is dead. Don't just pray, move. To me, God already has done his part for me. I don't ask him for nothing. He woke me up. He has given me food. He's given me an opportunity to be here and breathe. I am grateful for everything that he's done. He has already done his part. He's waiting on me to do mine. And I do my part each day. He's like, son, I already gave you life. You know? So now my prayers sound different. It's, hey, God, what can I do for you? What can I do for you to be a vessel to make this world better before I leave?
Yeah, it's so good. You know what? Even one of the things you wrote in the book, and because we talk about being asleep or being unaware.
Yeah.
And this section of the book, you said, we have guys out here partying 24/7 instead of locking in on their goals and dreams, instead of building the kingdom they're supposed to build. And then you went on to say this. You said, your mum needs you when you get older.
Yeah.
There's like power in those words. Your mum needs you when you get older. Talk to me about that just whole section, because there's someone that's listening right now that's in that moment.
Yeah. It's good to be in the present moment. We've spoken a lot about present so far, which is great. But you also have to have the bigger picture sometimes. And so I'm very aware that my mom will one day get old. I need her to transition as peacefully as possible. That comes with working hard and doing the work that I have to do now. I was in college. I sacrificed my partying years. I didn't party much. I went to one college party. One. I asked my friends this very important question. I said, hey, are the parties the same every weekend? Because I heard that. I heard that these parties are like, they could get redundant. They said, oh yeah, man, it's the same thing every weekend. And I didn't pass no judgment, but I took that on for myself. And I said, well, that doesn't align with me. I don't want to do something that's the same every weekend, partying every weekend, and it's the same. What's the purpose? What's the reason for me being there? Not saying that you can't party, but are you on your purpose? And the purpose comes before the partying. The purpose comes before the fun and the leisures. And part of what will make you get up, be aware, and attack the day with purpose and discipline is understanding that one day people will need you and they'll need to depend on you. And people will not be able to depend on you. I mean, especially as a man, people will not be able to depend on you if you haven't done anything with your life. Mm-hmm. You haven't done anything significant. What have you truly accomplished? What have you truly accomplished? And what have you truly overcome? A lot of people are in their comfort zones. And this is another sign that somebody's asleep at the wheel. You're too comfortable. Growth only comes from being uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable, you're able to evolve. You're able to get better. And so you have to get out that comfort zone. And you have to understand and be aware that, yeah, my family may not be calling me for anything right now, but that's a privilege. And you should use that privilege to maybe have something next to your name. Have something there. Because your family will need it at some point. Be fruitful and multiply. There's a lot of great spiritual, religious, faithful people walking around dead broke. We are supposed to be the richest in the world. Mm-hmm. Understanding that it's still hard to get to those pearly gates, getting through that needle, right? But at the end of the day, we are not supposed to be in a position where, and I'll be vulnerable here, when my grandmother passed, she didn't have nothing for us. She worked super hard her whole life, so that's not a knock on her. But I have the opportunity to leave something behind. Not just money, but I wrote a book. God forbid anything happened to me. My consciousness, my wisdom that I learned, my son will be able to read that book sitting on this glass right here and have a piece of me. I have left him something. So if you're thinking it's just money that I'm talking about, no. You're not. Where's the legacy? Where does that come in at? What are you leaving here? We're making these videos. This will be here longer than we will. It will be. YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world as we currently speak. It ain't going nowhere. This will be here longer than us. This is legacy. This is impact. And people still scared to pick up a camera, buy a 600 DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera and start recording. Yeah. They ain't sponsor my boy.
They should do. That's what I was thinking.
Sponsor them. Yeah.
They should be sponsored.
Oh yeah, you got to sponsor them. But what are we scared of?
I think there's certain things that every now and then I think about it and it like spurs action. And you actually touched upon it, which is, for me personally, and I think this is the case for a lot of men, one of the scariest things to think about is that someone that you love, so your mom, your sister, your brother, your son, your daughter, needs something.
Yeah.
And in that moment, you can't provide it. And the reason that you can't provide it is because in all the days preceding that event,
right,
you weren't showing up in the way that you were meant to. And that's like, I think that's why I even felt the power when I read that line, your mom needs you when she gets older.
Yeah.
Is like, that time is coming.
Yeah.
And I remember it vividly. We had a guest come on the show, very successful guy, made a lot of money doing e-commerce and like selling on the internet. And he talks about this moment, this transformative moment where his mum, God forbid, calls him from hospital and she needs a surgery and she's asking him if he has like the money to help cover the surgery. And in that moment in time, he didn't have the money to do it. And it's like unimaginable.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think part of the difficulty sometimes with life is like, you can make these short-term decisions, right? Like you can see the alarm go off at 7 a.m. and click snooze, or you can go to the party, or
Right.
I'm not saying that you can never enjoy life, but like you can go and live in a life that isn't in alignment with where you want to go. And you might not see the effect of that on day one, but a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line, and then that event does come and you're not the person that you were meant to be. It's like gut-wrenching.
Yeah. Because these things compound. That's what people have to understand. It compounds. And the work that you're putting in today, it counts towards something greater. Don't think that it doesn't. Some people don't want to work out for 10 minutes. This is just an example, because they feel as if they have to work out for an hour, or they have to match the energy and the execution of somebody that they saw online. And if they feel like they don't have that in them, or they don't have the energy to do that, they won't do any physical activity. No, that 10-minute push-up workout, that counts way more than you think. You figuring something out, going out there and still going towards your purpose, doing something to get 1% better each day, that counts towards something. Do that for 90 days, you will be in a whole different position. Your whole life will change. And it might not change externally as of yet, but it will change internally. The inner world matters just as much as the outer world. The outer world is just a reflection of what's going on within. We look at all this chaos in the world. Why is there so much chaos in the world? Because our inner worlds are chaotic. People have healing to do. People have trauma to heal. Once we heal ourselves, and once we take care of ourselves and pour into ourselves, you can't tell me that we won't live in a better world. So there's a lot of people complaining about the world. There's a lot of people, to bring it back to the smaller scale, what you can do individually, complaining about their own lives, not realizing that the power that you're looking for, is resting dormant within you the whole time. Awaken it. Make the necessary changes. 10 minutes of reading a book is way more profound than not reading at all, because 10 minutes naturally turns to 20. And then 30, and it's, I got to do this. I forgot. Lost track of time because you were just in the process. You weren't thinking, what time do I? Time ain't even real. It's a construct that guides us in this life and allows us to have structure and order, but it's not real. So stop thinking about time and think about now. Think about now. What can you do now? And it compounds. Every day you think about, what can I do now? 5 years from now, you live a whole different life. 90 days from now, you live 2 days from now, you live a whole different life.
You know what? You said that. What can you do now? And you know what? I want to give people something that they can do right now.
Oh yeah.
And so we spoke about step 1. It's like you have to wake up. Step 2, and I actually got this from when we spoke a few weeks ago, the self-audit. Find your purpose by getting still. I remember you mentioned that. You said you'd teach people how to find your purpose by getting still. For the person that's listening and sitting at home right now, and right now it just feels like they're doing way too much. They're at every party, they're at every function, every event, they're at it. Find your purpose by getting still. Can you talk about what is the importance, and what do you even mean when you say getting still?
How can you hear God's words when you're so tuned in to everything going on around you? All the distractions, all the clubbing, all the partying, all the drama, all the phone calls. Just take a day to put your phone on D&D and just sit down. Even if it's for 5 minutes, it could be for the whole day. That's great. That's a luxury, but that, you could do that. It could be for 2 minutes. It could be for an hour. When you're still, you hear things that you would have never heard before. The inner voice, the good inner voice. Remember we spoke about the devil on the shoulder earlier? Well, there's an angel too that we didn't speak about. The angel starts to, okay, I can finally speak. Because the devil's voice is loud. Yeah, you gotta go on TikTok because there's something that you might miss out. You gotta go to that club. You gotta party. You gotta get that experience. You might miss out on something. And the devil's loud on purpose, making you think that these unimportant things are important. It's not important. So when you're quiet and when you're still and when you allow presence to take over, being to take over, awareness, consciousness to take over, you allow God to take over. Some people in the comments were struggling with that concept. Some people got it. We fill our ears with so much noise, we don't listen to our own music. We're all artists, and we have our own music within. And you're not moving to the beat of your heartbeat, to the blood pumping through your veins. You're not feeling that at all. You don't feel the energy within because you're so focused on everything without. How can you get the answers to change your life if you don't sit down with you and your life? You have to. Life is in here. If my heart stops beating, that's it for me. I can't experience anything without. It's within that allows me to experience without. So if I want to change my outside world, I need to understand what's going on my inside world. How am I feeling? What am I going through? There was a moment, vulnerability is a superpower. I was in the bathroom. I was in the shower. I had this, I could feel it. I'm aware of it. I could feel it coming up again. I was listening to the song Dear Mama by Tupac. And I was thinking about all the sacrifices that my mom made. I was thinking about how far I came in life. And I was thinking about how my life will never be the same. Because as much as we want to get out of these bad environments, or we want to get out of, our old apartment, it's like once you upgrade, this is your new life. And you asked me 15 months ago, you said I had nothing. I laughed because that's kind of funny, but I didn't really. The apartment I was living in, it wasn't all that good.
Yeah.
I paid rent every month, $1,000 apartment. So you could imagine, lights were broken, the bathroom was broken, sink was broken.
Everything was broken.
Everything was broken. The bed was crooked. I told my wife, I said, man, I can't wait to get up out of here. But then when you get up out of there, you ask yourself, that I truly appreciate the struggle and the grind, and that's what allows me to be so much more present now. I want to appreciate every living moment that I have. But the point is there's so much that you can do, and with your life, and just me listening to that song and thinking about how far I've come, I realized that the only way to go is up, and purpose is my guiding light, and I'm gonna keep on following that light. And there's a lot of people distracted. There's a lot of noise. You just got to follow that light. Got to listen to that angel on your shoulder. There's so much good going on in your life for you, but you're so focused on the negatives and you're so focused on distractions, it stops you from action. Action over distractions. And in order to put action above distractions, you have to tune out the noise. You got to listen to the music that you have within. What is your life? What is your heart telling you to go out and achieve? What do you really want to do with your life? Like I said earlier, there's a lot of people, they're just reflections of those that were around them. And those could be amazing people that were around you, to be reflections of, people who are our ancestors. That's beautiful. They lived through us, but you have a specific reason for why you're here. And if you're not still, you might miss that reason. You might miss your purpose.
Yeah.
But that's the worst feeling.
Yeah. You talk about being still, and I have like an example from my own life that I can't even admit it. Like this morning I had it.
Yeah.
Because we live in such a noisy world.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if in any time in human history the world has been this noisy. Like you can literally be entertained or have someone with you digitally at all hours of the day.
I think about that all the time. I'm like, man, we used to write emails.
Literally.
Now if you don't answer a call, you the devil. It's like, nah, like I'm just, I'll get back to you, but I got to pour into me.
Yeah.
You 100% right. It's never been this noisy ever before.
Like literally, so I wake up, the first thing that most people do, check their phone.
Right.
Noise has already started from there. Even so, as I'm like making my bed, I'm like listening to something, I'm like watching, I'm like listening to a video or listening to music. It's like noise. I then walk into my bathroom because I'm like preparing to go to the airport. And I'm like brushing my teeth. I have an electric toothbrush, which is like, has noise in and of itself.
Right.
I'm holding my iPhone next to my ear. So through the electric toothbrush, I can still hear. And it was like, I actually had to stop myself, pause the video I was listening to and be like, let me just be silent.
Right.
But we've gotten so addicted to there being like this noise and like this constant low hum of a soundtrack that accompanies us. It's like, oh, I'm washing the dishes, but I'm like listening to the latest album. Or I'm watching the podcast. I'm like, we do that all the time.
Yeah.
You know what? Because there was a few other things that you mentioned in your book when it came to being still, or find your purpose by getting still. And I wanted to mention some of it and let you elaborate. The first thing you mentioned, you said, begin a daily practice of inviting God into your life through prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection. The second thing you then mentioned, you said, start a daily journal to document the signs, opportunities, and natural talents you notice in your life. Review these regularly and identify patterns. For the human being that I mentioned before, that is like, there's just so much noise in their life.
Yeah.
What is the impact of just those two daily practices? Begin a daily practice of inviting God into your life and start a daily journal to document the signs, opportunities, and natural talents.
Yeah.
What is the impact of that?
The impact is you're finally doing something for you, not distracting yourself or saying, oh, I'll just play this in the moment, but you're actually doing something for yourself. So when you pray, there's so much that happens there because you start to pour out in ways that you never poured out before. When you pray, you have to now call out the things that you would like fixed. You have to call out the things that you would hope can change in your life. And you have to be honest with it. So for some people, it's the first time that they're hearing, God, can you fix this? I have an addiction to this. There's a lot of men that are addicted to lust. Oh, I have a lust addiction. God, can you please help me along this journey? And it's the first time that they admitted that to themselves. We speak about, like Alcohol Anonymous, people who need help and they're in this group. The first step is you have to admit that you have a drinking problem. And so when you pray, you are admitting that there's something that you might need to fix, or you're just admitting to yourself, here's the goals that I'm trying to reach. And for some people, they never even spoken positive affirmations to themselves. Prayer can allow that. Journaling can allow that, where you're saying, my goal is to reach this. And not only are you now thinking it, but you're saying it and you're writing it. It's in 3 places now. It lives in your mind. It's in the physical world. So you brought the idea from the inner world to the outer world. That's the first look of what it looks like. And you're seeing it. And you have to write it down. I remember on my phone, I had a screenshot of like this YouTube thing, and it was like 100,000 subscribers. And I looked at it every time I opened my phone. Every time I opened my phone, it's like 100,000 subscribers. And I'm like, yeah, we'll get there one day. Every day I'm going to keep working at it. But I didn't just think of it. I brought it somewhere. And so journaling is powerful because you're bringing your thoughts into reality in a sense. It may not be the whole enchilada, but it's the first rumblings of what's to come. Writing down your goals. And that's why it's so powerful. Power to pen to power. And those things coexist and it needs each other. So, there's a lot of people, they don't pray, and there's no offense to that, or they don't journal, there's no offense to that. Well, what about meditation? At least single in on a thought. So it's like, I would hope to be here in my life, 5 years from now. Think about what your life will look like 5 years from now, 5 months from now, 90 days from now, because it's possible. 90 days is 100% possible. Think about what you feel like after the 90 days of being consistent, and sit with that. And so the stillness leading into those practices, those are practices of stillness. Stillness, essence, it's who you are. You're not trying to, you're not gossiping. You're not focused on distractions. You're not focused on what you have to do next. You're finally still and you're spending time with yourself. And there's so much power in that, because when is the last time that you've done that? When is the last time that people have actually sat with themselves and been okay in their own skin? I was in the Uber here. I love the sound of the road. Sometimes I don't want to hear music. And 2 minutes in, maybe the Uber driver was a little, like, what's the word? She wanted to feel the noise. She wanted to feel the air, the quiet space. It was quiet. It was nice. And I was just in my mind chilling. And then all of a sudden I'm hearing, it's a hot girl summer. It's so hot. And, mine obviously went somewhere else because the music's playing and, it's not the same scenery. People always feel the need to put something on, or people always feel the need whenever it's quiet time. Well, let me call my friend. And it's like, can you call yourself? Can you call God? When's the last time you did that? And there's no judgment there, but there's freedom there where you're comfortable in your own skin. That's how you'll be able to then, like we spoke about earlier, make decisions in your life. Are you the final decision maker? That's how you're able to wake up and stop drifting.
That's what I was about to say. It's how you're able to wake up.
Yeah.
You know what? There's it's interesting because I watch a lot of I watch interviews and I really love this thing. So I'll watch interviews of successful people talking on different shows, and the amount of people, and it's so underrated, like I think it's skipped over, but the amount of people that have achieved, whether it was riches or like just building a life that they want, or the people that surround them, and they'll ask them like, how did you do it? And one of the things that they've mentioned, which is always skipped over and it's always underrated, is prayer.
Yeah.
Is I prayed daily. I remember recently I watched Kai Cenat, I think he was on Jimmy Fallon. He went on Jimmy Fallon, and he's talking about how he went from being like 18 years old, broke, living in the Bronx, to now being like the biggest streamer on the planet and like probably the biggest new age creator of this generation. And he mentions that he prays daily. And it's like, it's almost odd in a way because you wouldn't think that that's what he's going to say.
Right.
But that's the thing. And there's so many stories and people that's what they owe it to, is the daily prayer. And so, I want to do something really powerful for people, which is like, say that someone's listening to this and they've never done a prayer like personally themselves. Can you almost like give them almost like the first prayer? Like if they were like, just wanted to stop this video right now and do it. Like, what is that first prayer? Like, how does someone kind of, what is it even that you're saying?
Oh man.
Let's pray.
That is powerful. You open up, right? Where it's like, you have to have an understanding that God dwells within you. And that means that he knows you. That means that he knows you better than you know yourself. So there's nothing to hide. All your thoughts, he has already heard them. He lives through that consciousness. He's aware. And so when you are praying, don't act like you can hide. Don't try to hide. Now is the time to be as vulnerable as possible. And for a lot of people who haven't prayed or never prayed before, you can say, hey, God, I haven't spoke to you in a while. But I want you to know that I appreciate the blessings that you have given me in my life. Even if I have never said those words to you, I am grateful and I am thankful. Thank you for a brand new day. And it's as simple as that. Gratitude is how I start my prayer. As soon as I wake up, thank you, God, for a brand new day. Thank you for putting me back on this earth. Thank you for allowing me to continue doing your work. Thank you for using me as a vessel of light, not for my ego, but for your glory and yours alone. And these are all prayers. These are all mantras. What I want people to understand is that when you carry God, a lot of people say God first. And I want to shout out College in Christ podcast, or Christ in College podcast by one of my peers, Nana, who I went to college with. She said something so powerful in one of her content creation pieces. She said that I'm not sure that I'm a huge fan of the list thing, because we always say God first, but the truth is God is the whole list. Oh, she's 100% right. When I'm in the shower, I'm talking to God. When I'm in the car, I'm talking to God. I was playing 2K earlier, just, you know, I knew I had the podcast coming up. I just wanted to ease the mind.
Get loose.
Get loose. I didn't want to do no hard work today too much. I'm like, today would be a good day. Playing 2K, I'm talking to God. You can talk to God anytime, anywhere. That is your best friend. He knows you inside and out. But when you speak to him, make sure that you give that gratitude. I would say gratitude is so important. Let God know that you're grateful. And then that would also remind you of the things that you're grateful for. But real quick, back to that list, people say, okay, God first, and then family, and then friends. But when you bring God everywhere on that list, you become more purposeful. You become better for your friends. You become better for your family. Kind of like what we spoke about earlier. You become a better person. You become better overall. You're able to fill up your cup first. Bringing God everywhere is like a cheat code, because God is always present with me. The kingdom of heaven is within. That's in scripture. God dwells within you. That's in scripture. What's going on here? Well, he's not separate from you. The Father and I are one. Everywhere, when you meet me, you are meeting an aspect of God. When I meet you, I'm meeting an aspect of God. And so are you aware of that or not? And when people are aware of that, they're able to understand, oh, I am worthy. Oh, I can achieve great things because I was made in his image. I got a little bit of him in me. And that's beautiful. So when you speak to him, there should be no huge boundaries there. Just be fully authentic, because he's fully authentic.
It's so good. Okay. And it's that simple
Right.
as well. I think that's the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
it's that simple.
Right.
Okay. Here's where I wanted to go next, because we spoke about kind of like your first video that blew up and like set the channel just in a whole nother direction.
Yeah.
But actually your most popular video, you published it on September the 19th, 2024. And the title of that video is Go Ghost and Upgrade Your Life in Silence.
Powerful.
Over 985,000 people have watched that. Can you even just talk to me, like, just give me the context? Like, what is even the inspiration? What is the meaning of that line? Go ghost and upgrade your life in silence. What does that mean?
Work on yourself, and you don't have to tell anybody. And so going ghost, a lot of people think that means, am I off the face of the earth? Like, can I still call my mom? Like, I have comments. I had to write a disclaimer. I'm like, listen, yo, I'm married. Listen, I can't go ghost from my wife. Like, listen, man, like, she right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, going ghost does not mean that you fall off the face of the earth. Going ghost just means that you are creating time and space for yourself, finally. And a lot of people don't do that. So when you create time and space for yourself, you are able to now be exposed to what needs to be worked on, what needs to be healed, what needs to be fixed. You're now able to also go after your goals and dreams and think about, hey, what do I want out of life? You know, there's this saying, you got to grab life by the, you know, you can't let life push you around. No, I'm here too. And taking up space and knowing that you deserve to take up space. It's very hard to understand that when you're always serving the world, but you never pour yourself a cup of water. And there's a lot of great, good-hearted people. However, we get taken advantage of because we don't make sure that we're good. So going ghost, upgrade your life in silence means just that. Go ghost for a little bit. Pour into yourself first before you pour out to others. And upgrading your life in silence is so powerful because we have to look at ideas, goals, and dreams as its own entity. When you tell people your dreams, and I'll break is it the third wall or fourth wall? I'll look right at y'all. When you tell people your dreams, you have to understand that if they're not a dreamer like you, and if they're not on their purpose like you are, they can destroy that dream. They can destroy that dream. Because when you hear the one word, are you sure it's going to work? Is it possible? Is it possible for you to have the Colin Johnson show? It's like, why would you even ask me that? Well, I'm on a mission here. You see my eyes. You know I'm on a mission. You know I'm determined to make this happen. Why would you even ask me that? The company you keep is so important. The words that you say, make sure you're not saying it to the wrong people. Because like I said, it's an entity, that idea. Because that idea that you have will come into reality. It will manifest itself into reality. So it's alive. That idea, that dream that you have is real. When you share that dream with the wrong people, that idea that lives in the consciousness goes to somebody else's brain, somebody else's mind, and they're putting acid on your plant. They're taking out the soil. They're blocking the sunlight because they don't believe in you. So who you share your dreams with is so important. Upgrade your life in silence. You don't have to tell anybody you're going to the gym. Just go. You don't have to tell anybody you're starting that business. Just start. And if you tell people, it's for collaboration, and you also know that their energy matches yours. Their vibes match your vibe. Their purpose aligns with your purpose. Or at least they're connected to something greater than themselves. They're doing it for a higher reason. So you can share, like I would share my dreams with you. Because I know that you would never shun them. And if I share my dreams with the right people, it could become more powerful, because then you can say, oh, I know this person. That's called networking. That idea now moves to somebody else's mind. Somebody else's mind is working for your dream, connecting you with the right people, the right opportunity at the right time. But sometimes we have to upgrade our life in silence so we know who to trust, and we know who to share what with, and we know how much to share. More action and less talking. Essentially, that's what it is. If I had to put it in a couple words, more action and less talking.
Yeah. You know what? For the past year, I've been wearing this T-shirt on every episode.
Yeah, I love it, by the way. I got to get one.
Yeah, we have to get you one. We have to get you one when it comes out. And it says "Stay delusional," and it's like, it's exactly speaking to what you're mentioning, which is like, when you have this dream, sometimes you just have to exist in your own world with that dream.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've all had this, right? Which is, you go about the journey of making a change in your life and being like, okay, rather than doing what I was doing previously, I'm now aspiring to this. And you start to go about it, and it can be a very lonely place.
Yeah.
I call it like the lonely chapter, because it's like, you're not, your old friends, it's like you're not really with them anymore, but you're not yet in the new place to be with your new friends. So you're kind of in this middle in between zone of just loneliness. And I remember it because I think anyone that's done this will remember it vividly. Sometimes on that journey, you actually go back and you speak with your, and I don't even like to say old friends, but like the people that used to spend way more time around.
Yeah.
And they'll say these little things that like can undercut what you have going on. You know, oh, we don't see you out anymore. You should come. Why don't you come out anymore? Or doing your gym thing. Oh, you're doing your big gym thing. Oh, you got your big dreams now. Oh, like just these little comments that are like you mentioned, just pouring acid on your dream. And even in, you said this, you said you have to unapologetically focus on yourself.
Yep.
Dreams once vibrant and full of promise will become distant whispers, choked by the weeds of other people's priorities.
There we go.
Man.
Oh man. It's one of those things, right, where you want to share with people. You want people to be part of the journey. You want to bring people with you. I went through it. It was hard for me, because once I started to become successful, the people that I thought would check up on me didn't. I had to give them grace and forgiveness and understand that they have their own life. So even the people that you want to be happy for you might not be anywhere to be found. Then you got to deal with the haters. Got to deal with the old folk you used to hang with. Like you said, oh, you doing your YouTube thing. And it's like, you have no clue how purposeful this is, how much in alignment this is. I found my groove. And I truly just want you to find yours. But because people haven't found their groove, they haven't found the music within, they're not stepping to their own beat and rhythm. They're not connected to the essence, but you are. They're not in alignment with their purpose, but you are. That's a byproduct. The hate is a byproduct. The jealousy is a byproduct of them not doing what they need to do, because you are a constant reminder that it's possible. You are a constant reminder of purpose. It reaches a point where it's not like I'm not acting in purpose anymore. It's like, if I had to really define it, I am purpose. When you meet me, you're meeting purpose. I've been so disciplined. It's not for the ego talk. It's becoming my identity. When you talk about what discipline is, when you meet me, you are meeting discipline. I am a representative of what discipline is. You reach those levels. So when people see that, when they see you, they see purpose, and they're like, oh, that's scary. To go all in, to take a risk, but they have dreams, bro. And they look at you and you've accomplished yours. We're doing our thing. They're like, is that possible? Well, we're here to tell you today, yes, it is. And we want you to start right away. Don't sit on those dreams anymore. They don't have to be dormant. Wake up. And don't ever be jealous. Be inspired. I was always inspired by YouTubers. I never had jealousy or envy in my heart at all. I never cared to collab. I was always going to make my own motion. I was always going to do my own thing. I had to trust that journey. I had to trust that process. And now we're here. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. You know, it reminds me, there's a quote, I remember hearing it on Instagram, where the guy says that, like, in the beginning, and he's talking about in the beginning of like chasing your dreams. Yeah. In the beginning, everybody loves you because you remind them of what it's like to chase your dreams. And then once it starts to become part of your being, yeah, they start to resent you because it reminds them that they never chased theirs. Right. And so it's like, it goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of that or Myron said, that be, do, have. It's like, right, once it starts to become your being, it's like, wait, he's shifted. Like there's been a shift. And I actually like I think it's helpful to think of it like that, because it's like, once you start to get those comments from people, those like subtle comments, and you can feel the energy behind it. Yeah. You can feel like the acid with it. Mm-hmm. In a way, even though it's not nice, it shows that you're actually shifting as a person. Yes. And so the sign is not to go and run back and like try and get back your old life. It's like, nah, you're on the journey. You're actually doing things the right way. Right. And people are seeing that, and it's so evident that resentment is starting to come through. Yeah. You know what? I wanted to go to step 4, because in the book you talk about the discipline code. And it even reminded me that when we spoke a few weeks ago, one of the steps that you mentioned is like just going all in on self-improvement. Self-improvement is a duty, not a phase. Can you talk about that? When you talk about the discipline code, when you talk about going all in on self-improvement, if someone, like, let's just imagine like a hypothetical calendar of yourself or someone that is gone all in on self-improvement, like, what does their day look like? Like, what are the staples of their life that it's like someone's trying to get, what are the habits? What are the routines? Yeah. That's like, I'm all in on self-improvement.
Systems. Self-improvement is a system. And within that big system of self-improvement, there's these atomic habits, small things that you do on a daily basis that adds up to the bigger picture. You have to have the bigger picture, and you have to have the day-to-day smaller picture. You have to be able to zoom out, and you have to be able to zoom in. And what is your camera lens looking like? Is it clear? We're clear right now, 4K, or is it blurry? And in order to clear the camera, you have to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do to be fulfilled at the end of the day. And so it's a hard day's work. Every day the camera will start a little bit blurry. But you wake up, take a shower, brush your teeth, do the mundane things over and over again. These systems, the camera starts to clear. It gets a little less blurrier. And we all have the potential to live in 4K, 8K, clear, crystal clear. where life is clear. Over time, life will become more clear. Your purpose will become more clear. But you have to start cleaning the camera lens. You got to start going to the gym. You got to start. I know you're doing morning runs, marathons, running long, that inspires me truly. Like, I'm like, man, I need to get into that. I'm on the weights. I'm like, nah, I need to start running.
You should.
I should start
You'll
running.
like it.
There's a freedom there, I'm sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are the disciplines and the systems that we have in our life. Every morning, 5 a.m., I'm up. I'm drinking my cold brew. I journal. I pray. I meditate. I hop right into creative work. These are systems that allow me to be efficient, that allow me to show up daily. What are you doing in your life right now that's stopping you from showing up daily? Because it is a duty and it is a responsibility to show up daily. At the end of the night, I just want to feel fulfilled. I want to know that I gave my all. I want to know that I poured my all into the things that I'm doing in life. And so that fulfillment allows me to sleep better than a Tempur-Pedic bed. They got a sponsor too, right? It allows me to, I could rest my head at night and know I did it. I truly did it. I had a great day today and I did my purpose today. I was a vessel of light today. I was kind to my wife today. Because yesterday I think I was a little too rough. Or I wasn't, I wasn't as kind as I could have been. Let me get kinder every day. Conversations don't have to end in an argument. It can be in a peaceful tone always. Always. Like, these things, these daily habits, these systems, getting 1% better each day, that's in every area of your life. And when you're doing that, and when you have these systems, and when you're doing things like waking up early and going to the gym, going to your job, getting back home, working on that business, at least learning about business, and figuring out what does that entail? How do I start? That's all part of the process. You could go to bed fulfilled, knowing that you gave it your all, and you start again tomorrow. The reset method. Start again tomorrow.
Yeah. You speak about the reset method, and I wanted to give people this because I read it in the book, and I thought it was so valuable because I think, and we're going to talk in a second about going to the gym, but like, if we even take the gym example,
right?
A lot of people can go to the gym for one day. The problem is that like, maybe the first day you go to the gym, the first week you went to the gym. What about day 9? What about day 17? What about day 63? It's like the consistency. And one of the things, like the negative momentum, like the not doing it daily, like not showing up for yourself, has such a toxic effect.
Yeah. And
it can like undermine the whole thing. And you mentioned something in the book that I thought was so good. You talk about, I think you called it the 10% rule.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what that is?
Yeah. Even if you give 10%, that's better than 0. It's as simple as that. We overcomplicate the grind. One thing you can't do, my mentor taught me this. Shout out to Shad. My mentor, Mr. Joseph. I call him Shad. I say Mr. Joseph, speaking to thousands of people. Mr. Joseph. He told me this one line, changed my whole life forever. He said, you can't cheat the grind. You can't cheat the grind because the grind knows exactly what you put in. It knows exactly what you put in. You can't cheat it. And so every day I wake up, I'm like, I can't cheat the grind. Something has to be deposited every day in order for me to reach my destination. I'm going to fall in love with that process. I'm going to fall in love with the journey because we know the dream is actually the journey. That's what Kobe said. The dream is the journey, not the destination. So when you're in the journey, you are living the dream. So if I'm living the dream, why not show up? Every day, giving something. The 10% rule, it compounds. It compounds. And it adds up to something so great that you couldn't even imagine. Every day I just showed up and gave something to the life that I want, to the goals and dreams that I wanted. I gave something. I'm like, okay, I might not make 3 YouTube videos today, but I'll make 1. Let's see if I could get up in 1. You know what? Let me just tweet. Let me just post a motivational quote. These are all little things that helped me get to where I'm at right now, sitting in front of you, beside you, right? Like
Yeah.
these are the things, man. And it's a beautiful thing when you realize that you don't have to always give 100%. You're giving a different type of 100%. You might be sick today. I remember one day I wasn't feeling good. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna walk today, and I walked for 10 minutes. And I took my behind back home because I know I'm not supposed to exert too much, but I wanted to deposit something towards my fitness goals. And that 10-minute walk outside is a better workout than me just working out for 2 hours, feeling super great and super motivated, because that's not life all the time. And when you're able to implement the 10% rule and give at least 10 minutes towards the grind, you have now entered the realm of discipline. Welcome to the club. You know, this is the discipline club. We show up no matter how we feel. And some people think we're crazy for that, but it's part of our DNA.
Yeah. It's so unbelievably powerful, and like it's something, again, I don't know why in this episode it's like reminding me of things that I've heard like years ago.
That's the best thing, right?
That's the best feeling. It just happens so organically. And I remember we had this guest on the show, one of our first guests, and he was like, he'd been working like a 9-to-5 job. I think he worked at like a factory in Oklahoma, and he starts like one day he just starts tweeting on Twitter.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that people have with content, it's like, I can't be consistent. He goes and he tweets for like 700 straight days. So like 2 years straight, he just every day he taps in. And I remember asking him, like, how do you do that? And he gives this analogy of the gym. He says, you know, every time I don't want to go to the gym, the only thing I do is I look at my gym shoes, I then put them on, and I get in the car.
Right.
And it's like, and I remember I was talking about this with my mom. I was like, anytime that you don't want to go to the gym, just put on your gym shoes.
Yeah.
And it's like this weird thing where it's like, once the gym shoes are on and you're in the car, you might as well go.
You might as well go.
And it's funny because I'll tell myself this as well. I'll be like, I don't really want to go to the gym today. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go for 10 minutes and I'll do one exercise.
Yeah.
You go to the gym, you turn up there, you're still thinking as you walk through the doors, you're like, why the hell am I here? You do the one exercise, you're like, well, I'm already here now.
Yeah.
I might as well do, and then you do your workout, and then it's another day, and then you'll keep. And that's why I thought the 10% rule.
Yeah.
I'm like, sometimes you have to trick your brain into this stuff. You have to you have to get yourself into it.
Oh yeah. Just do the next upcoming step.
Yeah. It's so good.
You know, and then it'll go from there.
Yeah.
It'll take you there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Before we get out of here, I told people that we have to talk about the gym.
Yeah.
Because it's like a staple.
Oh yeah.
What is the importance of going to the gym every day? Because I don't know, even when I was thinking about it, I was like, if that's the only thing that someone took from this conversation we had, like if in the next 90 days they were like, I'm just going to commit to going to the gym every day, it's like we've done our work just there. But like, what is the importance to someone who right now feels like they're drifting of just committing to that, just going to the gym every day?
If you want to know what good discipline looks like, you have to have a good disciplined habit. So disciplined in the wrong things is that you're very disciplined in not going to the gym. So you've been skipping it maybe your whole life. There's some people who have never went. I've had consultations with guys, you know, they've never went. And then, you know, they get off the phone with me and now they have 6-pack. They looking better than me, more buff than me. I'm like, man, you inspiring me. Yeah. But it starts with that wake up call that we spoke about, and then realizing that, okay, it's time for me to really show up, and it's time for me to do this, and committing to this 90-day routine of going to the gym, committing to 90 days of anything really. But the gym is so powerful because it's mental. It starts with that 10-pound weight, and then you keep going up, and you can see progression. The gym and working out, any sort of physical fitness, even at home workouts, when you go to that gym, man, you are now being exposed to what everything looks like in life. Everything from business, you know, entrepreneurship, it doesn't matter. There's a beginner's phase. There's an intermediate phase. There's an expert phase. When I first went to the gym, I went in a regular shirt. Now I'm like 5-6 years in. I got on my big hoodie, big sweatpants. I'm in here doing work, business, headphones on, locked in. Can't tell me nothing. My first day in the gym, I was asking people, what does this machine do? What does this machine do? Because I have no clue. I've never seen it before. I need help. And sometimes what's stopping people from actually going to the gym is they don't want to look like they don't know what they're doing. But there will be a day where you will be the expert and you will be able to help somebody else. There should be nobody in the gym. And we know the environment. There should be nobody that's looking down on people who are at the gym. I don't care if you are 400 pounds. If you brought yourself to the gym, I'm so proud of you. I don't care how much you weigh. I don't care. There's no judgment. You know why? Because you're doing a good habit to change your life for the better. It's a great place. Now, I can't speak for every single gym in the world, but I do know that the people there want to see you win. I want to see you win, you know. So the gym is more mental. It will show you what life really is. It will show you what things look like. Because you know how gym progress works, bro. You go there for like 2 months and you see nothing. But after those 90 days, you look in the mirror, it's like, wait, you take a second glance. It's like, hold on, wait. Is that some muscle coming in on the shirt? You like, is that I got muscle in the shirt now? My sleeves aren't blowing in the wind? Hold on, my arms hugging the sleeves now?
Yeah.
That's real. That's real. And you know, like that's life. What we spoke about earlier, this the valley of disappointment. Nothing is happening. And then boom, it looks like overnight success. That's real. Michael Jordan lost to the Pippins. You know, not the Pippins, the Pistons, right? Michael Jordan lost to the Pistons before he won 3 in a row, retired, came back and won 3 again. It's unbelievable. But for a long time, he wasn't winning nothing. But once he made it to the top, he stayed on top because he kept losing already. He knows what it feels like. He don't want to feel that again. And so he put the work in. What are we going to do? Are we going to put the work in? Because we love results. We want to see our life change. We love materialistic things, but we're not willing to do what's necessary to actually see those results. And the gym will help you do that. It shows you it's a representation. It's a reflection of life. And if you can master the gym, I believe you can master anything. Truly.
You know, it's like the pain creates longevity.
Right.
And it's like, it's what you're saying about Michael Jordan. It's like, so many times we hear he just went to the finals 6 times and won all 6 times. What about all the times he was losing in the conference finals, semifinals, first round, like all those years of the pain of losing so that when he did make it, he could have the longevity.
Right.
You know what? Here's where I wanted to end. I wanted to give people this final step. Reclaim your voice. And I actually read this online. I wanted to read it back to you. Even when you start taking action, it's possible that you still carry a silent self-image that contradicts your future. You are hitting the gym, you're journaling, you're going ghost, but still speaking about yourself in ways that limit your evolution. Identity-based conviction. Can you talk about that? Yeah. The silent self-image that you're carrying that contradicts your future.
Powerful. Eliminate what doesn't serve you and keep the things that do. And once you start to do that, you start to realize more of who you are and your true essence of what we're all doing here in this life, which is to evolve. So if you're going ghost and you're in the gym and you're starting these habits, hey, you have to remind yourself you've never been here before. Be kinder to yourself. You've never done this before. Be kinder to yourself. It's a process. It's a journey. And the essence of who you are is to evolve. That's why we come on earth as babies. And, you know, all of us, we're supposed to grow old. And rest in peace to those whose lives are cut short. But we're supposed to leave old, wrinkly. Every wrinkle tells a story, right? Every wrinkle is wisdom, gray hairs. You know, I know my beard, it'll start going gray whenever God says it needs to, because I'm here to age. I'm here to evolve, you know, and through evolution, it's not always going to be perfect or pretty. It's not about that. It is about progression, not perfection. And people have to remember that. It's about progression. Keep making progress. Keep evolving, because that is the essence of that's the essence of who we are. We're here to evolve, and we see ourselves, like you said earlier, when people would make those comments back then, you might have reacted a certain way. You see a shift in yourself. You notice, oh, my identity is different. You are evolving. Some people are not, but we are here to evolve. So that word right there is a powerful one, because it reminds you that I don't have to be everything that I need to be today. It's a process. As I keep evolving, I'll keep finding pieces of myself that I've lost. I'll keep finding who I am. The longer I live, just the better I am. There is no prime. I am the prime. I'm always in prime. This is the best me that there has ever been so far. And God willing, tomorrow, it will be the best me. And it keeps going like that. So when you find yourself carrying this image, this identity, and you think that you're not good enough, you're still thinking that even when you're doing the work, you just have to remember there's no story in perfection, but there's a story in progression. And truly be kind to you, because the world will demand so much from you. But when you're going after your dreams and you're on your purpose and you're on your grind, this is from an overflow. This is from abundance. This is from the creative space. This is from the essence. There is no stress. There is no worry. There shouldn't be. We're not doing it for the world. We're not doing it for corporations or anything. We're doing it for God. We're doing it for purpose. We're doing it for evolving. We're doing it for deeper reasons. We're doing it for humanity. We're doing it for service. So never come from a place of lack. Keep filling up that cup. So when you do pour out into the world, or when you are working on being the best version of yourself, when you are going ghost, you know that you are giving it all that you possibly can. And cheers to that. Cheers to that.
You know what? Here's where I want to end. In the beginning, I read out this quote that you said. You said, my mom worked 2 or 3 jobs growing up, and I don't know how she did it. She went without so that we could have. She would work double shifts and still find a way to show up, not just physically, but emotionally too. Man, I just think about the conversation we've just had.
Yeah.
I think about the conversation we've just had. I think about what you've done, going from all of those job rejections to what you've built with your channel and the way that you show up every day. Your wife who's here. Like, I think about the whole picture of it. And so even when you say that, she went without so we could have. I don't know, like even when you speak with your mom and you just start to reflect on everything that you've done at such an early point, thinking about where you come from, like where you started, at what point that she was at, like what, I don't know, what does that mean to you?
Everything. There is no me without mama. There's no me without my lovely wife. There's no me without the hurt. There's no me without the pain. There's no me without the trauma. We think that these bad things that happen to us, we label them as bad, or these tragic things that happen to us, or I grew up here. We think that these things are blockages. But if you dive into what's really going on, it will bless you twice. It will bless you twice. And what I mean by that is, even if you find yourself looking back and saying, wow, I came a long way, but I started here. I remember coming outside the house You know, when I was young, I was in elementary school. I'm in North Miami Beach at the time. And they took all 4 tires off my mama car. All 4 tires. I know how hard my mama worked for that car. Even at a young age, I was always grateful. She always taught me to say my prayers and be thankful for the roof over our head. I took that seriously. I knew that these things aren't easy to come by. She still found a way to get me to school. Like I said, I never missed a day of school, even when tires was off my mama car and she was only making $300 a week at the time. Still found a way to prioritize the priorities. And we got men saying that they can't change their lives. We got people saying that they can't look in the mirror and be the best version of themselves. What do you go through all that pain for? Get a reward from it. What are you crying for and not keeping going? Chop wood, carry water. Pray, repeat. Chop wood, carry water. Pray, repeat. What are we doing this for? All this pain that we went through is so you can be blessed twice. Job in scripture lost everything. I mean, everything. And he was one of the first persons that I read in scripture that was talking back to God the way that he was. He was wrestling with his faith. But he still had faith, the faith of a mustard seed. God blessed him twice. Double the kids. At the time, double the wives. You know, double the cattle. Double the land. Double the property. Double. Because you remained faithful and you kept going. All we have to do is evolve. All we have to do is keep going. You cannot lose. You cannot, if you keep going, you cannot lose. There's no way. It's impossible. You will get blessed twice for going through what you went through. Here's why. Because life is not about what we achieve as much as we love to think it is. And I would like to think part of it is, but that's probably just my ego talking. If I were to remove the ego and just let God speak, life is about what we overcome. Life is about, it's about what we overcome, man. And me and my family, we overcame a lot. We overcame a lot. And that's why I'm here.
Thank you so much, man. Okay, so if you enjoyed this episode, you're going to absolutely love what we did with this one right here. Click here.